there's rockin' in the land, and ringing them bells. I know, oh my Lord, there's rockin' in the land, and ringing them bells. Rockin' in the land, and ring them bells. There's rockin' in the land, and ringing them bells. For they are rockin' Jerusalem, rockin' Jerusalem, rockin' Jerusalem, ringing them bells. Rockin' Jerusalem, rockin' Jerusalem, rockin' Jerusalem, ringing them bells.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome. Thank you for coming to North Penn High School's annual Spring Choral Concert. My name is Matthew Klink, and I am the choral director here at the high school. And it is my pleasure on behalf of everybody up here to present this program to you tonight. The piece that we just opened with is a spiritual by Andre Thomas called Rockin' Jerusalem, and we are going to continue with a piece that's very, very different and in a different language as well. This is a piece called Dilettante, which is in French by a French poet, Rilke, who wrote a set of poems about roses. This happens to be the fifth of five that he wrote, and the most well-known of them, because recently, about 20 years ago, American composer Morton Lauridsen, who has become one of the more important choral composers in the world up to the currently still writing, set this to music. So we hope you enjoy American composer Morton Lauridsen's setting of the French poem Dilettante. would like to say a quick word about actually the next two pieces that we're going to sing on this program this evening. They are very similar in ways and contrasting, but complement each other so well, and I'd like to explain to you why. You see the next two pieces on the program, the first of which is called Blessed Are They. And the composer on that name should be very familiar in this auditorium. My predecessor as choral director here, Dr. Davis Giersch, wrote Blessed Are They just a few short years ago. And it's a setting of the first psalm where the text more or less is a celebration, an acknowledgement of if you happen to be looking for meaning in life, through making the right decisions, through associating with the right people, you can in fact find your way through life. And in a similar but very different way, Leonard Bernstein, the very famous American composer, in the very next piece, Make Our Garden Grow, which comes from his show, his operetta called Candide, he says very much the same thing, but in a secular way. The characters in the show have been trying to search for meaning in life, and they believe that meaning in life is perfection. That what they're looking for is for the perfect opportunity to be together. And the reality is that there is no perfection in this world. There's only us trying for perfection, looking for that same meaning in life. So we have these two pieces, one sacred, one secular, and you're going to hear in Make Our Garden Grow 3 different times the admission on the part of the choir representing all of humanity. We're neither pure, we're not wise, we're not good. We will fail, but guess what? We will do the best we know to make our garden grow. And we come to our first set change of the evening, ladies and gentlemen. While we are moving into place, we're going to hear some selections from our smaller groups down in front. And as that transition's happening, I do want to tell you about a few events that we have upcoming that you may be interested in, or your students may be interested in. Our last big event for the choral department here at North Penn High School, after tonight we have one event left, which is coming up actually this Sunday. The men's choir, the women's choir, the chamber singers, all of whom you'll hear tonight, but only a small percentage of the repertoire, will be presenting a concert, an annual concert that we've done at Corpus Christi Church right around the corner on Sumneytown Pike. We've been presenting this concert now for 5 straight years. That will be Sunday afternoon at 3 p.m. Admission is free. Again, Sunday afternoon, 3 p.m. at Corpus Christi. You can hear all of our select ensembles. We have some big nights coming up, of course, for our seniors. Our senior awards ceremony will be held next week on June 3rd, right here in the auditorium. And then right before graduation, our annual reflection ceremony will be held the night of June the 17th here at the high school. While we are just about finished clearing the stage here, I do want to mention that in your program, I made a few errors that I do want to acknowledge and just make sure the right people are getting credit. The students heard all of my frustration earlier with Google Drive not properly saving my work, and as such, we have a mistake like the ambassadors coming up. If you look at their roster, it says that Kuhu Verma, who is standing right there, put your hand up, is not a member of the group, but she is. And instead it says that Jeremy Varner, who graduated 2 years ago, is in the group. So, you know, my fault. But that I wanted to point out that correction. There's another one, but I'm gonna wait a moment to address that. I'm gonna move down stage now so that the ambassadors can begin.
Check.
The ambassador's first selection will be a cappella. This is Bob Chilcott's arrangement of the Beatles' great song, Penny Lane.
Penny Lane, there is a barber showing photographs of every head he's had the pleasure to know. And all the people that come and go stop and say hello. On the corner is a banker with a motor car. Little children laugh at him behind his back. And the banker never wears a hat in the pouring rain. Very strange.
A pretty nurse is selling poppies from a tray, and though she feels as if she's in a play, she is anyway.
And the barber shakes another crescent moon. You see the banker sitting waiting for a trim. And then the fireman rushes in from the pouring rain. Very strange.
So Anthony Kovich here is so talented that he's going to sing and play drums on this next piece. And we're trying to get his mic set up. This second piece, the Ambassadors are going to perform. This is an old jazz standard called On Green Dolphin Street. You're going to hear scat solos from 4 of our members. I believe I have this right in order, right? Tessa Kay, then Matt Wynn, Juliet Shipp, and Jeff Millenig. Do I have that right in order? Excellent. All right, this is Green Dolphin Street, and a huge thanks before we start also to Pat Spallinger. Pat graduated last year and is currently attending my alma mater, Duquesne University, for music, and he's playing bass tonight. Thank you very much. All right, we are going to make our next transition. You can all start unplugging. For those of you who may not be familiar with the way that our program here at North Penn High School works, first of all, this is such a tremendous music program that we have. This is my 5th year teaching at North Penn, and I always say I don't take it lightly. We have a music program that we are very proud of, top to bottom, vocal and instrumental. And here at the high school, we strive to make our programs absolutely the best that they can be for these students, to give them the kinds of experiences that they can carry with them for the rest of their lives. And part of that entails having some groups that meet after school, having extracurricular ensembles. This group that you just heard, the Ambassadors, only actually just started in February. We hold their auditions that late in the year, and then they perform through the spring. The group you're about to hear is our women's choir, and our women's choir and our men's choir both begin all the way back at the start of the year in September. We hold auditions the 2nd week of school, and any student who is in chorus is eligible to audition for those 2 groups. And then from those groups is where the chamber singers are selected, and you'll hear from them momentarily. So this group is an auditioned group made up of 10th, 11th, and 12th graders, all sopranos and altos. And now would be a good time to, I think, admit the other mistake that I made in the program tonight, which you may notice if you looked at the list of women's choir that there are a very large number of male names in that group. I could sit here and explain that I actually went through this and did it twice, and it still didn't save properly because the 3rd column actually is totally right. But I do want to quick acknowledge, and if you could just put your hand up as I call your name, the girls who unfortunately were pasted over with the wrong names. Lizzie Alidi, Katie Apple, Mary Beth Bloomer, Ashley Brown, Rowan Butler, Mary Kate Crotty, Rachel Darty, Grace Detweiler, Alexa Duffy, Lisa Jang, Liz Gibran, Tina Kinsey, Hallie Crosscove, Jillian Lawrence, Jess Leatherman, Lillian Lee, Abi Natesh, Nena Nwogugu. Sorry about that, girls. The women will be performing, 2 selections this evening. The first of which is by a composer named Pablo Casals, who is actually best known as being a cellist. He was from Spain and really was regarded probably as the greatest cellist in the world through the first part of the 1900s. But he did write some music, not a lot, but he wrote this beautiful piece called Nigrus Sum that we're going to sing, which is in Latin. And it's the Latin version of one of the most popular readings that we'll hear at weddings, which roughly translated means, "Rise up, my love, and come away with me."
We
The second collection is titled Job, Job, and this is a reference to the character Job that we read about in the Old Testament, who, if you know the story, undergoes many, many hardships as God decides to put him to the test. And this kind of goes hand in hand with what I was saying back up on stage before we sang Make Our Garden Grow, that we are faced at times in life with very difficult decisions and situations that are posed to us. And this is just a great story of one of them. This is set as an African-American spiritual, or actually more like a work song, and it's going to feature at the very beginning a solo from Kuhu Verma.
So the Lord gave, the Lord take away, the Lord gave, so the Lord take away, so blessed be, praise Him, the name of the Lord, so blessed be, praise Him, the name
All right, well, we're getting set up for the chamber singers to come on. We need some boys to join us. We wanted to thank Mr. Burns and Mr. Clank on behalf of the senior class. They have done so much for us as people and as musicians, and we just really appreciate it, and we want to thank them. So we have cards for each of them with gift cards inside. So thank you.
So the group taking the stage, and first off, seniors, thank you very much. That's wonderful, thank you. And very much appreciated. The group that's standing in front of you is the North Penn High School Chamber Singers, and this ensemble, as I had mentioned, is selected right away at the beginning of the school year, and this is our busiest ensemble through the year. They frequently travel, especially through this area, and they do community events, and they sing things here at the school. Everything from Christmas carols right before our break at some of our elementary schools, up to some pretty incredible concerts. This group sang at Lincoln Center last year, and one of the highlights that we had this year was actually local, but a tremendous concert. We did a joint concert just about 2 weeks ago right at Corpus Christi Church with the Waldorf College Choir, who is the second oldest touring a cappella group in the nation from Iowa. And just an awesome concert. I told them how proud I was of what they were able to do. This group's going to perform 3 selections for you tonight, the first of which is a setting of a Walt Whitman poem called A Jubilant Song. I'll say this beforehand. This has a soprano solo by Brianna Weckerly.
Jubilant
As an ensemble, this group has achieved just tremendous things this year. You've worked so hard, and they rehearse this group usually about 3 hours a week, sometimes more, sometimes a little bit less, but on average about 3 hours a week, in addition to being in men's choir, being in women's choir, and for many of them also in ambassadors, many of them in marching band, many of them involved in the musical, and some of our other very demanding activities here at the high school. I mention that because I do want to extend some individual accolades to members of this group. If you look in your program, there's a section that says it should say 2014, another thing that didn't update, but 2014 PMEA Honors Choirs, and I do want to individually acknowledge students who auditioned earlier this year for District Chorus, which is something that I am able to nominate a small number of singers to audition for. It's the best singers in high schools in Bucks and Montgomery County, and we had quite a few students selected this year, so just put your hand up as I call your name. Selected to District Chorus this year: Danica Klauser, Ian Minninger, Juliet Shipp, Christina Stidham, Michael Zavosky. You can give them a hand. Also selected for District Chorus, and then once there, chosen by re-audition to advance to Regional Chorus, which is the best singers of the 5 Philadelphia counties, were Chelsea Albert, Daniel Bunker, Anthony Cubbage, Tessa Kay, Alex Medoff, Jeff Millenig, Jackson Simpson, and Corey Taylor. And then finally, once at that Region Festival, we had 4 students who were chosen by that re-audition to advance to Pennsylvania All-State Chorus this year, which was held at the very end of March out in Hershey, an enormous festival, a tremendous concert. And we had selected for that Tucker Brader, Allison Chapman, Kuhu Verma, Brianna Weckerly. And also, we did have a student this year selected for All-State Vocal Jazz, and it was Mr. Anthony Cubbage, who played drums and sang earlier, right there. We have one final selection, and then we'll bring out the men's choir. This is Moses Hogan's arrangement of The Battle of Jericho, which will feature Christina Romano on a soprano solo at the end.
The battle
Our program had a very cool experience just about 2 months ago now, a little bit less than 2 months ago. We had an opportunity to take the men's choir, the women's choir, and the chamber singers down to Temple University, one of the finest music programs around, especially in this area. And we got to actually just sort of spend an entire morning with their whole choral faculty. They have three faculty members who are choral professors at Temple, and they are so in demand to be traveling clinicians and adjudicators and leading their own tours. It's incredibly rare that all three of them happen to be there at the same time, but we were very fortunate that they agreed to let us come down. And we had absolutely a tremendous time, and I think especially the guys, right? We had an opportunity to work with Dr. Rollo Dilworth, one of the finest musicians, composers, arrangers, and just experts of singing around. And he really worked with these guys to create a real lyrical but still very manly sound. We're going to sing two pieces, and that first one is incredibly lyrical. Excuse me. This is a poem by Robert Burns called "Oh My Love's Like a Red, Red Rose," a very famous poem. And on this, we'll be featuring Beatrice Tsai and also Eric on violin and cello.
Oh,
shoulders down. All right, the men are going to finish here with one more selection, and then we'll bring the full chorus back up. This is from the Sgt. Pepper's album, Paul McCartney's very well-known song, When I'm 64, arranged by Tom Gentry in barbershop style, and I'm going to leave it to you guys. So as the chorus retakes their place on stage quietly, I do want to take this opportunity while I have just a moment to extend a few thank yous on behalf of the entire program for helping to make this concert possible tonight, helping to make just what we do on a day in and day out basis possible. I want to first and foremost thank my colleagues who work here in the music department, Mr. Mike Britcher, Ms. Erica Milborn, and Mr. Dan Tumalo are my colleagues here at the high school. And again, we are very proud of our program, and I'm honored to be able to work with them. Sure. There are many, many people helping out tonight. Of course, you see the cameras here. This is being broadcast on NPTV and will be replayed later. So thank you to folks at NPTV for being here this evening to capture this. Thank you especially to Mr. Chris Durr, Mr. Craig Wireman, who have been helping nonstop the last couple of days with making sure the stage can be set, with making sure that the sound is ready to go, and all the logistic concerns were taken care of. I want to say thank you to our staff chaperones who are here tonight helping. I want to say thank you, I had mentioned my music colleagues, also though to Mrs. Andrea Roney, our theater director. Just a tremendous program. Did you come to see Beauty and the Beast? I hope. We have quite a few parent helpers also this evening. I want to say a special thank you especially to Wendy Kelly for helping to put together our post-concert reception back in the cafeteria, and all the parents who helped with that and handing out programs. Thank you, parents. And sure. I do want to say, although they're not here tonight, but a thank you to my family, to my wife Jenny. As I'm sure many of you are aware, if you're related to somebody up here, well, we actually just had a baby less than 2 weeks ago. Thank you. So, to her and to my sons, Christopher and John is the newborn. Thank you for all of your love and support. And especially thank you to Mr. Burns here, Mr. Sean Burns, my assistant director and accompanist. I'm not going to say much about the next piece, although I feel like I should say something because it might take you off guard if we don't. This is called Kahiamanu. Kahiamanu is a collection of folk music from the Polynesian islands. It's not one particular song, but rather a collection of things that Stephen Hatfield, the arranger, heard during his travels there and assembled. A lot of it is ceremonial music, processional music, dramatic music, just a collection of sounds and music from that island. And Kahiamanu literally translates as many birds. And as you might be able to imagine, I kind of tried to put myself in imagining what it would be like to live on an island. Kahiamanu means many birds because the birds are so importantly symbolic to people who live there because they're constantly surrounded by water. There's a freedom that's represented looking up at the birds who are able to leave the island like it's so difficult for so many of those people to do. You can see that we'll be using some bamboo poles on this, and we hope that you enjoy Kahiamanu.
Tire a te te ha kai runga.
So on that last piece, we featured, you could see a number of our students playing the bamboo poles, but I do want to acknowledge one in particular who's right here next to me. This is Nayeli Mendoza, and Nayeli is in our chorus this year. She joined along with 3 other students in our MDS class and have been coming on 6 period CF days to participate in chorus. And I've asked Nayeli, in addition to playing on that last piece, if she would be willing to introduce our next piece. You can actually look in your programs. Actually, if you wouldn't mind, open up your programs to where it says Program Notes. And you'll find a lot of the texts and translations for tonight, including the poems that comprise our next piece called Animal Crackers. Animal Crackers is actually a series of 3 very short poems by the very famous American poet Ogden Nash, who was a humorist, and he wrote just a ton of these poems about animals. And Nayeli's going to help to introduce them to you, so you can see the words there. And you ready, Nayeli? All ready? We're going to introduce Animal Crackers. You ready? All right. Here's the first.
The panther is like a leopard, except it hasn't been peppered. If you behold a panther crouch, prepare to say ouch. Better yet, if called by a panther, don't answer.
Mr. Wyman, I'm going to try that one again. I'm not sure that the microphone picked that up. Let's try that one more time. Let's try the first one.
The panther is like a leopard, except it hasn't been peppered. If you behold a panther crouch, say ouch. Better yet, if called by a panther, don't answer.
The second one, entitled The Cow. Let's try number 2 here, Nayeli.
The cow is of the bovine ilk. One end is smooth, and the other
You ready to try number 3? Let's try number 3. Here we go.
The firefly's flight is something for which science has no name. I can think of nothing curiouser than flying around with an unidentified glow on a person's posterior.
Right. It is such a pleasure to have Nayeli and her classmates in class with us. So we hope you enjoyed these 3 poems set by Eric Whitaker to Ogden Nash's 3 poems, Animal Crackers. We'll perform them without pausing in between, so please hold your applause until we sing all 3.
Be
So we're coming to the last stages of this concert, and obviously we're in the final stages of our school year. This 2013-2014 school year has been, well, at least from my vantage point, incredibly fast. Snow days and everything, it just feels like it has absolutely flown by. And in just a couple of weeks, actually, many of us are going to be right outside in the Crawford Stadium to say goodbye and celebrate as our seniors graduate. And this year we have 87 members of the chorus who are going to graduate. Actually, seniors, could you raise your hand so we could see where you are? If you've been to one of these before, it's become something of a tradition that right before we sing Bridge Over Troubled Water, that I take a moment just to actually talk to the seniors myself. So if you don't mind, I'm going to do that very quickly here. Seniors, how are you? You know, I want to tell you, one of the things that I did earlier today, I took some time to look at our old concert programs from earlier this year, but especially from a couple of years ago. I was thinking about all of the music that we've performed together, and a lot of those pieces I haven't thought about since those concerts. For quite a number of you, this is your 9th chorus concert. 3-year members and doing the holiday concert, also our invitational, and 3 spring concerts. Seniors who were here as sophomores, do you remember your first concert? Do you remember coming and taking the stage, your very first concert? Do you remember the very first thing you sang? El cielo canta alegría. Are we doing that? Right? We took the stage and we sang that. We sang The Road Not Taken at that concert, and we sang Go Where I Send Thee, right, at the end. We've had a lot of memorable music we've shared together, maybe perhaps none more so than last year at the spring concert when we sang Calling All Dawns from start to finish, just a very memorable experience for me. We've experienced a lot of music together, and you know from sitting in my classroom that I really believe that that means that we have experienced a lot of life together, because music is an integral part of life. I want to let all of you know that whether you have been here for 3 years, or if this is your 2nd year as a chorus member, or even if you just decided to join this year, that it has absolutely been a pleasure and an honor to be your teacher and your director. So over these last few days, as we've prepared for this concert, in particular Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I've spent a lot of time talking to you about how tonight's program, so much of this music that we're singing focuses on making choices, about how we react when we're faced with difficult decisions in life. Because seniors, you see, the thing of it is, nobody likes to make tough decisions. Some of the decisions that we have very, very tremendous and far-reaching implications. Some have financial concerns, like choosing what college to go to. Many of you have been through that this year. Some decisions have consequences that can be very long-lasting, like choosing what you want to major in, or whether or not to get married, or things like that. And some of the other decisions we have to make in life, sometimes they choose us to force between what might be best for us versus what might be best for people who we really care about. But it's in these types of moments, when we're forced with these types of decisions, that we really find out who we are, that we really acquire our identities as people. I'm sure that all of you at some point sitting in chorus class have heard me recite one of my absolute favorite quotes of all time, right, from the very wise Professor Dumbledore, right? Professor Dumbledore tells Harry, he says, "It's not our abilities that show us what we truly are, it is our choices." As you move forward from here, never forget that your actions will always speak louder than your words, and you are defined not by what you have done in the past, but what you will do right now. Remember that you can, in fact, discover your purpose in life simply just by being you, that by living your life, by building your house, by chopping your wood, that you can, in fact, watch your garden blossom into something pretty remarkable. Class of 2014, our time is coming to an end, but please never forget your experience here in North Penn High School Chorus, and know that you are always welcome to come back and visit. I wish you all nothing but the best, and you know that I expect to see you here in December, right, to sing the Hallelujah Chorus? Yes. All right, let's sing. There are just a couple of things that I would like to mention before we perform our final selection this evening. First, thank you again so much for being here tonight. This is a program that we take a tremendous amount of pride in and spend months and months preparing, and it's such a pleasure to see a great crowd here tonight, so thank you for being here. I do want to let you know that following the concert, if you head out in that general direction and follow the hallway up towards EPOD, if you keep on going, you'll get to our cafeteria where you will find some refreshments afterwards, compliments of the chorus and our parents, so feel free to enjoy that. The last thing I'm going to mention actually pertains directly to the piece that we're about to play, and as the orchestra takes their place, we obviously just celebrated one of our great American holidays this past Monday, and Memorial Day is a time, of course, to pay tribute and to honor the brave men and women who have fought in our armed forces, and especially those who have died serving our country. And it's something that we certainly don't take lightly. Everyone who was in our men's choir and our women's choir actually was up bright and early on Monday morning to be in Memorial Park right on Main Street so that we could be a part of Lansdale's Memorial Day festivities. And I'd like to kind of carry that thought beyond just Monday, beyond that one day a year, and extend to tonight our own thank you to all of those who have helped to make our country what it is and what it will be into the future. So we hope you enjoyed the Battle Hymn of the Republic.